Welcome back to Board Game Breakdown. I'm Chris Solomon, and in today's video we are going to check out the flip and write game Cartographers. Now this is the full-length video. If you're interested in seeing a more condensed version that's about 3 minutes, click on this link here for our burst version. Now Cartographers, like I said, is a flip and write game. It's one of these genres that over the past couple of years has gotten a lot of buzz. There's roll and writes, flip and writes, anything where you're basically taking a pen or pencil and sometimes a dry erase marker and writing something down as you play and kind of building your board that way. And in Cartographers, what you are going to be doing is using this pad here that's got a grid system, and you're going to be mapping out things for the queen. So here's some examples of some of the maps that I've drawn, and what you'll be doing is flipping over these cards called explore cards, and in doing so you'll be making your map, trying to score more points than your opponent. There's also a solo version, and that is what we'll be focusing on in this video. So what I've decided to do, because the setup, the rules are all fairly light, is I'm just going to set the camera up and we're going to play one whole solo game as I talk my way through it so you can see how it plays. I have added chapters below so you can skip around through the different rounds, or as they're called in Cartographer, seasons, and then you can see basically how a solo game works. Before we go any further, I want to remind you to please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please check our website out at boardgamebreakdown.com. You can also find us on Mastodon, Instagram, really any of the social network sites. So without further ado, let's get started with Cartographers. Alright, so welcome to the video here where we're going to run through a full solo game of Cartographers. It doesn't take too long, so I think we'll be able to get through in maybe under 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and set this up. If it's your first time setting up the game, what you will do first is you're going to split these scoring cards that look like this into their 4 categories. So you've got ones that have these backers, you have this emblem, you have the forest, and you have village. So once you split them up into their 4, you just shuffle the stack, and I'm going to pull out 1, and the rest of that stack can go back in the box. So let's just do that. So basically you're randomizing your 4 scoring cards here. Alright. And then what I typically do is just shuffle these up, maybe with my eyes closed, and then you're going to put one out for each edict. So these are the Queen's edicts, and this is going to be how you score each round. And you'll see that each of them is A, B, C, and D, because depending on which round down here, will tell you which of these we're going to score each round. So we'll go into those in a little more detail when we get to the round scoring here. Next, you want to have your 4 season cards, and you want them spring, summer, fall, winter. They can just be stacked on top of each other, and I'm just going to set that there. Then the only other cards you have is you have 4 ambush cards. You'll know that these are ambush cards because they say ambush, and they have an evil little friend on here that will attack you per se. So you want those to be in a little stack, and then what we're going to do is we're going to just shuffle these up, and we'll just set that there. And then all your other cards are the explore cards, and they say explore right there. And so what we'll do is you're going to take your top ambush card and put it into the stack, and then we'll shuffle that up. We'll put that there because we're going to draw those cards out. Then on your little map here, it's double-sided, so you can play either side. We'll just stick to this A one, and we can put our name up here. So there. If you are playing multiplayer, you can write a title in there. We can name our land So let's just call this BGB for board game breakdown. If you want, you could draw a little shield, family crest, or whatever there. But at that point, you're pretty much done. So if you can't see the map very clearly, I'll show you here for a second. So it's just made up of these grids. You have these mountains with a little dollar sign or a coin, and then you also have these ruins. It's kind of light. So I'll talk about those in a minute, and then down here you can keep track of how many coins you are gaining, and then you have your little score tally, and you'll play over 4 rounds, which are the 4 seasons, and then your full point total goes there. So that is it for the setup. Oh, I have some nice colored pencils up here. You don't have to play colored pencil. You could just use your pencil that you get from the game. You get 4 of these, or you could use whatever you want. I like to be sort of creative on some of the maps that I draw. If you check out the burst video that I talked about at the intro, you can see a couple of those. This one we're just going to draw quickly and color in. But that's it for the setup. So let's get started with the gameplay. All right, so let's just jump right here into the gameplay. And what we're going to do is look at this little map down here, this section of the map, and it will say A and B. So we are going to score Edict A and B this round. So let's take a look at this. Great city. I won't read all this text to you, but basically what it's saying is we're going to score 1 reputation star for every village in our largest cluster is what it's called. So a cluster could be 1, a cluster could be 7, as long as they're touching each other. So we need to have our largest one is going to get counted, but it also cannot be adjacent. So that's north, south, east, west. It doesn't matter if it's diagonal, but it can't be north, south, east, or west to a mountain. So we've got that one, and then we have Tree Tower, which is we're going to earn 1 reputation star for every forest space that is completely surrounded. So see, like this one is you're getting a star because it's all surrounded. This one is, but like this one is not because there's an open space there. Now we might want to, in a normal game, have these in mind over here because they are going to score, and you might want to plan ahead. But I'm not going to worry about those right now, going over them with you. So the other main thing to look at is this card. So it reminds you that we're going to score Edict A and B. And then this number up here is very important, where when we bring the Explore cards out, there's a number on them, and we're basically going to stay in spring until we reach or exceed a total of 8 on those cards. So speaking of Explore, we take this first one and we flip it over. So there we go. So you'll see the 2. So those are the ones that we're going to sum up. And it has a nice piece of artwork and a title, Fishing Village. And then it's going to show us a shape down here. Sometimes it has choices of shape. This one only has 1. But this gives us a choice of either a village or a water that we're going to put in that shape somewhere on our map. So we can set that there, and now we can decide. So remember, we're going to score for this round, we're going to score villages. So I might want to start out with villages. I also will note that real quick on Edict C, we're going to want to fill in diagonals starting at the bottom left corner. So what I'll probably do is I'm going to throw in the fishing village, and I'm going to just put it right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll take my red, shade it in. You can obviously do this however you want. If you would like to make little boxes, make one big square, whatever. That's up to you. And I'll throw the little emblem in there. These are pretty horrible looking houses, huh? All right, so there we go. So take the next one, flip it over. All right, so now you'll see this is an outpost ruins. It has the ruin emblem, and it does not have a number up here. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this here and move that up so you can see that a little better. Okay, so what happens on this is we're going to flip another card immediately, and we're going to play that card like normal, except it has to overlap a ruins emblem, and you'll see those ruins emblems sort of sporadically around here. So let's go ahead and flip our next card. And we've got Forgotten Forest. So that's 1. So we're going to add those up. So it's 3. So we're not done with spring yet. And you see down here that this has to be a forest, but we get to choose 2 different shapes this turn. If we choose this shape, we get to gain a coin, which will be a point every season. But it's typically a smaller shape, or we can gain that shape. But remember, we do have to put it over a ruin. So let's think about forests. We want to surround forests as much as possible this go round. That way we can score those points. So what I think I'm going to do is let's do this. Because remember, we do have to cover a ruin with this. So I'll shade this in green. Kind of left this spot open, but there is a card in here at some point that is going to let us, if it ever comes up, do a single square. That could be helpful right there. So we'll see. All right, so that one is done. I did not get a coin. Let's flip the next one. All right, so marshland, so we can do either a forest or a water. Since we have water, let's talk about this real quick. For future, we're going to get 1 star for every water that's next to a farm, and 1 star for every farm next to a water. So we basically want the farms and waters together. Let's see. If we do another forest, though, we can try to surround a few things. So let's do that. So let's do the forest here. So you'll notice that you can flip the shape around, upside down, things like that. There's no rule against that. Cool. All right, and so let's look at our count. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we still got plenty of time here. All right, we got a single farmland. Choice, not really a choice. We've got a farmland, but we can do this 2 or this cross. Remember, we eventually want farmlands to be next to waters, but since we don't have any water yet, but what we could do is we're going to throw this farmland here in this cross, because that's going to cover or surround this mountain. So I would like to talk about that real quick. Just make this diagonal pattern. Get my yellows. Well, I think I already broke my tip of my yellow, but it's okay. All right, so you'll see that the mountain has a little coin on it, and because I surrounded the north, south, east, west of the mountain, then I get to gain a coin. So I'm going to come down here, I'm going to circle this coin, and that's going to come into play when we start doing points. I also helped surround some of my trees here, so that will be good. You know what I did notice is I kind of made my village stuck in there, so that might not be my biggest village in the future, but we'll see. So here's the one that we can stick a single unit in there, and we get to choose any of the terrain, and it does not count towards anything. So since we did talk about the village, let's just throw a village in right here. So at least that will be, for this go round, I'll get 5 points off of that. Maybe we can make a bigger village by the time the 4th round comes around, because that's the next time I got to score that edict. All right, and then lastly, homestead here with either a village or a farm. So remember, I do want farms next to water, though I haven't got no water yet. But you know what I could do is I could go ahead and, because this village is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this village is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I could go ahead and put a village out here somewhere, maybe up here, and that would help start my next village for round 4. So I'm going to do that. And this will be where I build the villages from forward. That'll also help get some of these forests surrounded, so I can score extra points for that. All right. So we'll just put. All right, and then if you count over here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've hit the 8, so spring is over. So it's now time to score our things. So again, we're going to look at our Edict A, which is Great City. So our largest village, which is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's not touching any mountains. We're going to score 1 point for everything. So we get 5 points for that one. B is every surrounded forest. We get 1 point. So none of these are surrounded because this is open, but we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 points there. How many coins do we have? We only earned 1. And then this would be negatives for any monsters and the ambushes that came out, which haven't come out yet, so we get 0. So for a total of 12 points that go round. All right, so what we do is we go, sorry if I hit the camera, we go to summer, so we're going to score B and C, and it again needs 8. So we're going to take all of these, pick them up, put them back in the deck, and then we're going to take another ambush card and slide it in and then reshuffle. Now, because no ambush card came up the first time around, we now have 2 ambush cards in here. If an ambush card does come up, you do what it says on the card, and then you actually toss that card back into the box so it does not come out again. All right, so we are ready to move forward. Let's keep in mind Edict C, the broken road, which is going to score for completed diagonals that are left border to bottom. So you'll see I've already done quite a bit of that. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already completed. Almost have 6 completed. So that should give me some good points at the end of this round. So let's flip over our first card. Boom, it's a ruin, so we need another card. All right, so the hinterland stream, we need to put this on a ruin. Remember, I want to get forests next to farmland. It's kind of a shame because that's our only temple or ruin next to, that's kind of close. That's going to be sort of an odd shape. But I could do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here, let's just do it here. It's fine. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So maybe I can do some forest or waters up there so that those touch more than just that one. Let's see. Some fast moving water here. Let's do it a little wavy. Beautiful. All right, next up, fishing village. All right, so I probably want to stick with the village for this because that's going to add to this one and give us more points at the fourth round. So let's just go ahead and add 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close that up. Remember, it cannot be touching mountains for that score for Edict A, so I want to try to keep away from this kind of over here. But I want to build out my village on this side. All right, and we've got 4 up there out of the 8. All right, we got another ruin. All right, and we have our first ambush. So one thing to note here is that if an ambush comes out on a ruin, we're going to just do the ambush like normal, and then the next explore card that comes out, we will apply it to the ruin. All right, so there's a couple of things on the ambush card I want you to see. So on the solo version, this is going to work differently than on the multiplayer version. On the multiplayer version, you just swap papers with whoever is to your left. You look at these circles or arrows down here, and then that person actually draws this shape somewhere on your map. So they could kind of screw up what your plans are. In the solo version, you're going to look up here and see that this is in the bottom left, and you're basically going to start in the bottom. Whoa, I just threw my pencil at you guys. Start in the bottom left, and you're going to work your way around until you can fill this shape in. And you're going to kind of go in these like square grids. So we'll start here, and we're trying to do that shape. You do not turn it or flip it or reverse it or anything like that. So we want it to be, sorry, you might not be able to see the shape. We want it to look like that. So I'm going to start down here. So I've hit these areas, but I can't quite fit it in there. But I hit this, and I can do this. All right, so let's color that in purple. So that took up one of my ruins, which is not all that great, because if you run out of ruins and then you draw a ruins card, then you're just stuck with placing a single square somewhere. Just put little mean faces. All right, and then we can take the Kobold Onslaught and throw it away because it's not going to come out again. So what does these mean villain faces mean? When we score this next round, any spot around here that is not covered up is going to be a negative point moving forward. So I'm going to want to try to surround these bad guys as quickly as possible. So remember, we did have a ruin, so we're going to flip the next one, and we're going to apply that. So Forgotten Forest, so I need to find a ruin to put it on. So man, it would have been really nice to not have that ruin covered up, because nothing around here is going to allow me to help cover up any of the monsters. But I also want to still cover up any, or yeah. So I'm just talking. All right, so let's just do this. All right, because I kind of want that coin. So I'm going to do something like this. So I'm going to use this shape here and cover up that ruin. I don't know if I'll ever actually surround those forests to get points, but I'll take the coin. All right, and so we've got 2, 4, 5, so we gotta keep going. Hamlet 6. So remember, I want to try to keep my village up here, and I don't want to touch the mountains. And actually, this could work well because I could take this and flip it around, and I would actually eat up some of these bad guy spots. So we're going to do that. And what I'm going to do is color this in. So that eats up 2 negatives that I would have had, and gets me some points when I count up my biggest village at the 4th round. All right, next up, we have another ambush. So this is the goblin attack. So you'll see that this square wants us to start in the bottom right, and then the arrows are going this way, so we're going to move around the map that way. So right off the bat, we can actually put it here because it's like these 3 diagonals. So we can throw one here, and one here. So purple. That might actually help get those forests surrounded. So that could actually be a good thing, but we'll see. All right, so goblin attack gets out of here. So those were our 2 ambushes that we had in the deck so far. And here we got marshlands. So let's see. I really would like to get some more water out on the board next to the farm. But there's really just not that great of a place for it. So what I'll do is I'll come over here, I guess. Man. So I'll do this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3. I'll try to cover up some. Close up some of these trees. At least it blocks that one bad guy. All right, so let's count up 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so it's time to do our scoring for this round. So again, Edict B is the tree tower. So let's count up how many are completely surrounded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. So we got 10 there. We're going to look at our C and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then that one never got. So we only have 5 rows, but it's 3 for every single one. So we're going to do 15. Make sure that's right. Yep. Coins, we have 2. And then for our negatives, we're going to count up how many spaces are not surrounded by the bad guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's -6 on that. So let's see, 25, 26, 27. So minus 21. So 21 points there. All right, so we're going to take summer. We're going to flip over. Now you'll see fall is here, and it only has 7. So they do get shorter each season, which makes sense because you're going to have probably less spaces. I'm going to take my next ambush card, throw it in there. This time we are going to try to score the broken road, which are the diagonals, and then we're going to score for all the farms and waters that are touching, which we don't have very many, but maybe we can get some of these filled in so that we can get more of the broken road things. So let's get out here. Marshlands again. This is like not a very great. Well, we can do this. So we don't really need to pick trees anymore because we're never going to come back and score B. We're going to score C and D once and then D and A once. So I might as well just put water here. So we'll do these 3, this. Because maybe I could stick a farm next to it at some point and at least score some more for D. it also helps get some more of these diagonals going. So that's good. All right, so we got bugbear assaults, whatever a bugbear is. So we're going to start this corner and we're going to work down like this. Oops. So right off the bat, we can put a one here and here. So this is like a really annoying shape because it has this break in the middle. Really don't like that. Two really mean faces. All right, so bugbears can get out of here. All right, farmland. So that's, we're probably gonna stick it here because I can eat up some of this spot next to the bad guys, and also gives us another another farmland next to a water, and then it also allows me to get a coin. So we'll do that. All right, Great River. Let's, so if I did, yeah, let's try that. So one. So that gives us some more rivers next to farmlands. It might help more with this diagonal piece. There's my blue. Do some little swirly things in this one. Okay, so 2, 3, 4. So you'll see that when you have these fall and then even winter, they start going very quickly. Treetop village. So I definitely want to work on my village because the treetops are not going to be worth it anymore. The problem is I got to make sure that it does not touch a mountain. So I'm kind of have to do 1, 2, 3, like that. So you'll see I'm getting very close to the mountains there. So I'm going to be running out of space for my village, but that's okay because it's pretty large at this point. That was the ice maker, if anyone heard that. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we probably got one more. Oh, we have a little more than one more because that is a rift land. So you know what? Let's stick a farmland right here. Boom. That'll be good for us. Put the little stripes on these. I never did. We also get another coin for going and surrounding the mountains. So now we should have one more. Oh, we have a ruin. And we have to put this hamlet on a ruin somewhere. So we have ruin here, and oh, that's actually nice because that is not near a mountain, and we can get a coin, and we can add to this. So let's do that. All right, so let's see what we got. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so that one's done. So let's look down here. C. We're going to look at our completed diagonals. So we definitely have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, we have 6. Sorry. Yes, 6 is right here. We do not have 7. We do not have 8. We have 9. We don't have 10. We don't have 11. All right, so we got 7 all together. So we had the first 6 plus this one. So 7 times 3 is 21. That's pretty good. And then we have to count up all of our farms that are touching water. So let's do that first. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then all of our water that's touching farms, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 coins. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So -9 there. That's pretty horrible. So that basically cancels that out. And so we have 25. All right, we got one more season to go. So let's come over here. So this time we're only going to get 6. We do have to toss our ambush card in here. And remember, this one we are going to do the farms and the water. And then we get to count up our great city, which is going to be a pretty decent amount of points. But I might also want to try to get some of these negatives out of here this go round. Because they are not looking good. All right, let's get started. Okay, so we got a ruin. All right, the stream. So let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Let's just put it here. That will at least get some of these negatives out of here. And if we get any more farmland, we can put it next to the river. Okay. You'll see that this round goes really quick. We've already got 4 out of the 6. So we are running out of time here. So we could turn this one up so it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So we're even extending more of our village to get more points at the end of this round. So that could be good because I really don't like the amount of negatives I'm going to have here. Also, you're going to see at the very end that we're going to lose quite a bit of points in the solo version. But we'll look at that when it's scoring time. Okay, so 2, 4, 5. So we still got one more after this. All right, so let's see if we can put this somewhere where it's going to help stop some of these negatives from happening. I don't know if it will. So our really only option is here and here. And at least we'll stop this one. So let's do that. And we'll get a coin out of it. So let's put a coin there. Just do that. That. Okay. And then this should be the last one. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Fishing village. So 1, 2. So we basically got to put it over here. It doesn't really matter if it is a water or a village because we're not going to score for either one of those things. So we'll just do the water. But at least that takes up a chunk of this enemy territory here and will get us back 1 point. All right, so that is that. So let's look at this. So let's look at D again. I think I'm going to have the same 9 points, but just to make sure, we'll count up first the farms that touch water, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the waters that touch farms, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, we didn't gain any headway on that. But then our largest great city that's not touching a mountain, we are going to count up and get 1 for each spot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. That was a decent haul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coins. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negative. So let's see, 20, 29, 34. All right, so we're at game's end. What do we do now? I'd mentioned a lot of negatives are about to happen. So on your scoring cards, oh, my pencil fell to the ground. That's okay. You're going to see down here, it says one player and it has an amount of stars here. So you're going to now add these up. So we got here, let me do this up here. 16, 17, 24, 24. All right, let's put those over there. Let's do our math. So 10, 1, 2, 81. So I am going to have to subtract 81 from my total score. So see, it's going to be a lot of negatives. All right, so let's add up my score here. So I got 12, 21, 25, 34, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 92. All right, and so 92 minus 81 is 11, right? 9, 10, 11, yes. So my final score was 11, which is not very great. But you'll see we did have a lot of monsters come out. So I'll show you. There's the full map when it's all said and done. Obviously, you can make it prettier or not as pretty if you think this is nice, as much as you want. So Cartographers is a really fun flip and write, I guess is what you would call it, not a roll and write. But we did that in 40 minutes with setup. Obviously, that was a little longer because I was explaining each and everything. You can easily play this by yourself in 20 minutes. The multiplayer is just as quick because everyone, you flip one card and then everyone is drawing at the same time. So it's basically, it doesn't add any time as you add players. If you like the game, there's many expansions to get you more ambush character shapes. There's more map packs you can buy that give you different pads here and some different shapes there, different scoring abilities. There's a mini expansion with skill cards. You can activate skills each turn. So it's just a way to add a little bit of depth and variety. But with the amount of scoring cards that the base game comes with, all of these, you can easily play many different variations of the game right out of the standard box. So I really like that. So hope you enjoyed watching me play a solo round of Cartographers. Please make sure to check out our website, boardgamebreakdown.com. We have text reviews. Check out the rest of our YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe so you get all of our latest videos, and you can check us out on Instagram and Mastodon. Thanks for watching.